Welcome out to Santa's Grotto. We are really embracing the festive spirit, as we should on Festive Friday, with 9 races ahead of us. And really good racing it is too, as you'd expect. Racecourse commentator Pat Comerford is alongside. One thing you'd like as an early Christmas present tonight, Pat, would be what?
Oh, geez, I'd like to tip a few winners. That'd go a long way, to be honest.
That should happen tonight.
Right? It should.
You would hope.
I'd say this is probably one of the more straightforward meetings we've had so far for the season, Tom, in the fact that...
We're going to clip that up.
Yeah, exactly right. I know.
You've got 0 from 9, we'll play
this one, and it's just within brackets. Famous last words.
Exactly, yeah.
Look, I think there's probably 3 on the card tonight that should be winning. Look, I'm not going to be declaring anything because, I mean, stranger things have happened, especially considering the fact that we're racing on the grass here for the first time for the season. But, look, a very exciting program, and I think I mentioned it to you just before. Great to see a lot of former winners from Festive Friday last year returning to these races that they had success in last year and hoping to go one the better. I mean, there's a few that have got much higher ratings than they were when they did take out the race. But, yeah, look, a great card from start to finish, and really looking forward to it.
We start with the Group 1 as well for the Purebred Arabians. It's Al Maktoum Challenge Round 1. And we've got a 125 rated horse here in the form of Baraka. I think Pat and I will come to it and agree that he should be too good for them. But, you never know. This is going to be a starting point. And, he has got form over a little bit further as well. But there are some good competitors alongside. We are going to have a look at Baraka in the Dubai Kayla Classic, Group 1 back on the 30th of March, finishing second. Alakan back in 8th. This is a standout run, surely.
Yeah, it's the standout piece of form, and every year that you come back to, the earlier races in the Purebred Arabian season here at Meydan, it's usually these Kayla Classic horses that certainly shine through. And, Baraka seems to be the class act here. The ratings suggest that as well. He comes into this on level weights against a bunch of horses that should be giving him quite a few kilograms in weight. So the fact he's on level weights here in this Group 1, it seems like he will be very, very hard to beat here. I'm going to respect the form of 2 horses. Alakam's last 2 runs have been beyond atrocious, but on the dirt, I like to see the fact that he runs on the turf. Good to see returns back to the dirt here. That's his preferred surface. And I wouldn't knock the form. We saw Pasuelo PY on President's Cup night at Abu Dhabi come over from Qatar and run an incredibly good race in the racing there at Abu Dhabi last weekend. I wouldn't knock the Doha form. I think this horse, AJS Falak, number 2, has got to be given a lot of respect. He's undefeated on the dirt. He's coming off a 10.5 length win in Doha last time out. I mean, I was looking at the market overseas. They've opened him up 14-1. So I think he's value there, and they've certainly missed him. Baraka's the clear horse, but I think I literally wrote 4 beats 2. That was my notes for the race.
The other horse who deserves a mention, I think, is Canale de Faust, who finished second last time. Now, that was Unleashed, winning the Majani Stakes. Obviously, we'll need to step up on this, but, comes here in good form off the back of 2 consistent efforts, I want to say, so far this year. And he has been busy already. This is going to be the 4th start of the season. Yeah,
he's done very well. I mean, Adil Muchar, he's got to be given a lot of respect. His season has been phenomenal. I mean, he's going very well. Hamad El Marah, the same. I mean, these 2 have really got their horses firing early and reaping the rewards as well. So, a nice race to start, but Baraka, a clear on top of for me.
Yeah, Baraka is rated 6 or 7 above this horse, and even more, I think. Should you would imagine, be tough to beat off the back of that run in the Kayla Classic. Yeah, Baraka 125, Canale de Faust 111. We're going to skip on to race number 2, and this is the sprint. Now, there's a couple of imponderables here. One is, where do you want to be positioned? Because last year we saw it change, that you seemingly wanted to be far side as opposed to near side. I'd imagine that will transition again into this season. Pontos dominated this far side last year, and he's going to try and do the same again, I would imagine. And the question coming into here, I think it's fair to say, as we take you through the rest of the runners, is Bill Hale or Pontos? Because that was the question I had to ask, and I think we've got either side of the coin. I've gone Pontos, you've gone Bill Hale. They've got form in and around each other throughout last season.
They have. Pontos has obviously had a lot of racing through the off-season since going back to Europe, so he's had ample opportunity to be racing throughout the middle of the year. So you've got Pontos who's coming in. He's had a bit of a break, but he's got the race fitness in the legs here as well off that freshen up against Bill Heil, who we saw run a really nice second in his first up performance to Pontos last year in this race.
So that was, incidentally, that's California Spangle winning the Alcors, and you had Bill Heil finishing 4th, Pontos finishing 12th. And then in this race last year, you had Pontos winning the race and Bill Heil finishing 2nd, Mick Kjaers back in 7th. So, this is Pontos doing what he, I guess, when it all works out for him, and he's a good horse normally fresh, he just dominated over towards that far side.
Yeah, he did. Look, it was a great performance from him last time out in that first up run here in Dubai. He controlled the race from the front, as he likes to do so many times. He's got a little bit more weight than the rest of these, but I don't think 1.5 kilos should be too much of a concern to worry about if you are in his corner.
So why aren't you?
Well, I thought Bill Heil being drawn wide in a smallish field, I don't see him being too far off the right side of the track to be getting over and finding a spot. He is a horse that does like to settle around midfield and make the running there. So I don't see any of them going down the centre. I see them basically all working across to the far side, grouping up as one. Pontos will be leading them, but I just haven't, in my opinion, I just don't think Pontos is, from what we've seen him at the track and in his work, he probably hasn't been as electric as we've seen him in previous seasons, or previous last season coming over here at this point in time. So I'm just a little wary on where he's at and whether that may show in the later part of his race. So as a result, if I think that he's going to be capitulating a little bit at the 100-metre mark, I think Bill Heil's the horse that's going to be swooping over the top or be within striking distance to do so. So I've gone 3 from the 1, but I think it's a 2-horse race between those two.
Race number 3 is the Shahama Stakes. It's for fillies, a conditions race over 1,400 metres on the dirt, the same trip which Arigato Gosamasu won over last time, and beat 5 of the other horses in here who we're going to take you through. I guess the one interesting newcomer is going to be Secret Combination for Jim and Claire Limited, who, with Jamie Osborne, won with their first ever runner out here on the dirt a couple of weeks ago. Right, Arigato Gosamasu beats Flamma Sunshine, Ruby Hamilton, Parisian Beauty, Tawahine and Arena Rosso, and did so in pretty dominant fashion, Pat.
Certainly did. Very good performance from Arigato Gozaimasu. It was a race and a night where we saw a lot of horses who, I guess, took the bull by the horns and went straight to the front, found themselves getting the rest of the field off the bit and not able to make ground. It was a confident ride by Bernardo Pinheiro, a ride and tactic I'm sure we'll see put into place once again here tonight, considering that she has drawn 10 and will need to jump and roll from the 1,400 metres to find a forward spot. So the intentions, I guess, and plan of how they're going to execute this race is known. As a result, that makes it a race that's going to have a decent tempo in the event. So, look, I think she's going to have a chance to control this race from the front. I'm just a little concerned that she's not going to get it as much her own way as she did last time out, where there was a few that were slow away and didn't really get a chance to run into it. Look, I think Doug Watson is very, very good at having horses improve for the run. I think Ruby Hamilton had what you could say was a failed debut. It didn't pan out, I'm sure, the way that they thought it would. She'd almost run her race by the time she got to the tunnel here. She was very temperamental there early doors, and just as a result, it showed in her race day performance. Hopefully she's going to improve with that, I guess, race day experience. I'd like to see her come back, and from an inside gate, if she can put herself into the race, maybe settle 3rd or 4th spot Arigato Gozaimasu a couple of lengths, I think we might see an improved performance here from Ruby Hamilton, and as a result, I'm not willing to knock her out completely. I think she's worth another chance in this event, especially early in this career. I think she could be a threat to the international market favourite.
I thought the same about Flamma Sunshine. Secret Combination, as I say, in the colours that saw a first ever dirt winner for Jamie Osborne, and with a nice 2-year-old a couple of weeks ago. Well, I guess if you look at Secret Combination, does a lot that you could translate to this surface right, but I mean, this is pretty hot to be launching her into.
It is. Jamie Osborne has obviously proven with the performance of their other 2-year-old that they have gone to the drawing board and tried to figure out what are the best horses we can bring here, and that we've seen from our experience over years that will handle this surface. I mean, they were right with their gelding. Who's to say they're not going to be able to be right here with their filly? I think, yeah, secret combinations are a big watch. And, I mean, if how the last horse was anything to go off, I mean, secret combination's got to be considered a worthy contender here.
It'd be great for the meeting if they do go win another one. It's going to entice a lot more internationals to come out with juveniles in years to come. We will see. Race number 4 is the Business Bay Challenge, again sponsored by Imar. 1400 metres on the turf here, won last year by Vaffatino, and Daniel was a touch disappointing, although he did have a penalty last year, doesn't have a penalty here, and Daniel did win the race 2 years ago. Up against a good few Godolphin challenges, as we'll see on the turf. Dania was second here last year to Vaffatino. It was a good run under the penalty, and I think that's what ultimately took its toll, the penalty, and doesn't have it today.
Yeah, so that's something that obviously is a big tick in that corner, and yeah, it will be very interesting to see how he fares here in this event. I thought it was an interesting race to dissect. There's, I guess, a number of horses that you can give a hope to, question mark around some of the Godolphin camp as to how forward are they going to be for some of these performances. But look, I'm sure Danya's got to be given a top 2, top 3 hope. We know that this horse is a 1400, genuine 1400 metre horse. We know he's an Alquoz winner over 1200, and we've seen that time and time again here in Dubai that you need a really strong 1400 metre horse to be winning down the straight here at Dubai, especially in the Alquoz, which is a very tough race. Is this race Danya's, aim or goal? That's the big question I found with him. I mean, we haven't seen this horse since the 30th of March. Is he going to be fully screwed down for this? And that was my query with him. As a result, I know the work has been good with San Donato. He's ready to go here for this race tonight. Sheikh Abaid was the previous owner of this horse. The horse was surrendered over to the care of His Highness Sheikh Ahmed and Michael Costa, and they've really found that they've got this 8-year-old gelding a new lease on life. Not to say that he didn't perform very well last season. He was an amazing Group 2 winner, but yeah, it's great to see that San Donato's flying here, and he's ready to run a good race in this, and I think that'll take him a long way from a good gate.
Good to have the 3-year-old filly here, Ziggy's Dream, who is another international raider. Alice Haynes sending another runner out to the Middle East in Ziggy's Dream. Well, look, she doesn't have a huge amount to find with the top-rated Dania. Dania's rated 111, so she's got £7 to find with that horse, and she's getting 1.5 kilos. So I can make a case. I don't fancy her tonight to go and win the race, but with my sort of international hat on and sort of strength of the carnival hat on, I'd quite like it.
Yeah, look, she's going to get some nice weights in a few races throughout the season, being a 3-year-old filly if they place her right here. And yeah, look, she profiles as the type of horse that's going to go on and go quite well here. Is this a bit of a tough order first up? That's the question I want to ask about Ziggy's Dream, but certainly one that we'll be keeping a very close eye on, and she's rated right up there, 104.
And I guess you're not necessarily working back with, you're coming out here to try and win this, a bit like Vaffatino in a way.
100%, for sure.
You want to come and win the prize money and make it worthwhile.
And we saw the horse come out and he'd do exactly that last time out for James Doyle and the Foy camp. So yeah, hopefully runs a good race.
I think the Al Maktoum Mile is really interesting. Because you've got a horse like Artorias in here. Clapton came out from the US last year as well. Now officially with Doug Watson, Hamby with Chad Brown. Artorias was there as well, now with Bupat Simar. So, and I guess, the Laurel River comparisons, given the colours, and given the fact that this horse, looks sort of perhaps a miler at this stage. For all, Laurel River did a right Upton trip last year. I guess the comparisons are obvious. Clapton finished third Al Maktoum Challenge presented by Longines back in January. This was on Fashion Friday. Fourth was Desert Wisdom. I'm going to knock this horse slightly. There's something, and he might be too good for these today. There's just something which I don't think he's ideally suited to the nature of the Meydan track.
Yeah, no, I agree. I can't have him, to be honest. He could very well come out and win this tonight.
Now we've said that, he's going to.
Yeah, I know. He's going to blitz him tonight. But
to be honest with you, I couldn't put him on our top.
And to be honest with you, I mean, like, no knock on Chad Summers. I think the a change of stable and a change of training preparation can be a big plus. I mean, he's now had the time to be acclimatised out here for a full season, and that could take him a long way tonight. But I can't keep coming back to the fact that Clapton has had ample opportunity to win races here, and he just continues to fail every single time. So
Doug might have, having had him out here longer, he might have found something different. Like maybe that's the key. I don't know.
I think that will take him a long way. I think Clapton hopefully will have improved from the last time that we saw him, which was obviously in the Dubai World Cup. But look, I mean, there's worthy contenders here. Mestri did nothing wrong in that performance there. A tough winner over Walk of Stars, who...
Let's have a look. We can have a look at Mestri. Mestri winning Dubai Creek Mile. Go on.
Well, yeah, so look, Mestri was up in front. Now, arguably, Walk of Stars, had he hit the line and not do what we've seen him do time and time again.
Walk of Stars, absolutely.
He should have won. He should have won by half a dozen going away from them. But look, all honours with Mestri on the speed. Had to be gritty late still, and did that. Bit tougher this time around. But look, I've gone with Artorias in this event solely because, you know, I think he's the horse with the most ability in this. But much like Laurel River, who we continue to make countless comparisons between the two, he took a run to get going, like to really start, I guess, familiarising himself with the racing here. Laurel River was, I wouldn't say he was a flop first up over here in Dubai, but it was not a pretty watch in any way, shape.
It was over 1,200 as well.
It was, but I mean, it gives Artorias that excuse to, I guess, have a sighter to experience the track, and hopefully we'll see him running good races. I've tipped him on top for the sole reason that I think he's got the ability, but it's a low confidence tip for me, because I think this is a race that you'd want to be staying right away from as a form analyst.
Yeah, me too. I'm with Karib on second start of the season, but not with a load of confidence. The Al Rashidiyah is up next. This sees Measured Time making his first start for 118 days since running at Saratoga last time. Did win a top-level race there. He is the key form horse. I guess he's the sort of key horse on the night, really, as well, because, you know, you kind of want him go and have a dominant performance, even though he was a slightly disappointing international market favourite when running in the Dubai Turf, I thought. Measured Time got his Group 1 success in the Jebel Hatta last year, and then followed it up with a top-level win in the States on first go out there. This was back on Fashion Friday. No doubt this will be his target, where hopefully he'll meet up against Romantic Warrior, which would be fascinating. But yeah, he's better found in the market than he was 12 months ago.
And rightly so. I mean, if you listen to the comments as well, that from the camp, William Buick and Charlie Appleby have both been very adamant that this horse in the last 12 months has continued to improve. And I mean, if you saw the horse that they dished up in the Al Rashidiyah last season, and you're saying that he's gone to a complete another level here, I'm very excited to see what he does here on a track where he has just absolutely dominated horses over the last 12 months. So very excited to see how he goes. I didn't look really much past this. I think he's I didn't make him the nap of the night, because I knew that 50 other form analysts will have made him the nap of the night, and it's you know, I want to try and make it a little bit interesting. But look, I think he's the clear horse here. I'd like to say only bad luck gets him beat, but I think he's such an adaptable horse as well, that even if he found a little bit of trouble here early in the race, that he's a horse that would be able to overcome that and still win. So, yeah, he's pretty close to a good thing this tonight here, Measured Time, and very exciting to see him back here. He's a really nice horse, and an exciting one for the season ahead.
That's Measured Time, star attraction on the night. That's in the last of the Group 2 contests. Race number 7 is the Entisar, and I think we're both excited to see Autobahn back. We've got Walk of Stars as well, who, well, he might look like he's going to win at some point, but it depends what he does in the business end. Autobahn ran a good race. He ran a few good races last year. He finished second to Fulcrum, Arabia to Killer Collect, and to Forever Young as well in the big one on Dubai World Cup night itself. That was that was in the UAE Derby, and I guess a repeat of that. Like, this is the best form.
Giving him 4.5 kilos.
It's surely the best form.
4.5 kilos to Forever Young, and goes with him after being almost kamikazed on speed by Oasis Boy, his stablemate. They went hammer and tong together.
This is your nap on the night now, isn't it?
Oh, this is my nap now. I mean, if you can't go with Measured Time, he draws 1, 2. I mean, he's going to find the front here. And, I mean, the thing is, and as we've seen through last season, I mean, Autobahn's probably got 5 or 10 lengths on Oasis Boy, and we saw how good he was last meeting. Got a nice little whack over the snout with the with one of the other riders' whips, and he still ran through it to go on and win. Autobahn's got lengths on him, and I mean, provided he doesn't miss away terribly. I mean, he's going to be in the ideal spot to roll forward as he likes. I like the fact that Sumion's flying over to ride the meeting as well. That's confidence in itself. I mean, time and time again, we've seen when Sheikh Mohammed bin Khalifa Al Maktoum's got a good horse, at the races, and there's confidence there. Usually, Christophe Soumillon's on a plane, has been for a long time. So that's a confidence in itself. I think Autobahn is got to be given a lot of respect here, and I think Doug Watson, from all reports, has got this horse absolutely flying along and forward enough to be making his presence felt here. Let's
have another look at Walker Stars finishing second in a different race. Finishing second here to Military Law, who doesn't go, obviously. Never Show Weakness was disappointing on this occasion. He didn't go forward. These good horse, Never Show Weakness. He's just, his form tailed off a bit last year, but he'd been on the go a bit. And this is Walker Stars. I don't know what the key is.
It's just painful to watch it every time.
What do you do? Because he can't boss it, and yet he's just so friendly, isn't he? He's such a nut. He's just like having a chat. Hello, and then he's like, no, after you.
I mean, as an owner, I mean, it would be a tough one, because I mean, he's got.
Well, I wouldn't mind some of his prize money.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, picking up place money's all the time is very good, but I mean, it's hard to watch, considering that he's just clearly got so much ability, and he's able to just unfortunately not hit the winning post first. Great to see Military Law's out. My apologies. He comes out. He was a runner-up at this meeting last year. We're talking about previous winners as well. New connections. Interesting to see how Dahabi will go. He was a winner on this night 12 months ago, also when spotting the Godolphin Blue. So, interesting race, this one, but I feel from one, Autobahn's going to control it as he likes and make a winning return.
Yeah, Dahabi won the race we're going to come to, which is race number 8. And this is the first of the handicaps. And again, this is the sort of what you expect, I think, in a race of this nature, where you're looking at probably Godolphin Blue and going, who's got what in hand? We might not have seen them for a little time. Quite often Charlie Appy will put them away, and then for a Middle Eastern campaign. Royal Power is one of those. That's the full field. Intricacy was good here last year, and obviously had that throw-out run when making his reappearance in the voided race. What do we think there, Royal Power? He's my selection. I think he'll have a bit in hand off 104. I think the distance is good.
Don't be disheartened by the fact he's wearing the white cap. It
doesn't mean much.
Yeah, no. And William Buick on board. I think he's the main hope for the team. 4 starts for a win, a second and a third. He's been beaten 3/4 of a length by involvement last time out at Newmarket in a 0-105. His best should be winning this, I'd say. I mean, it's certainly not as confident of a tip, you'd say, as the previous 2 races, but look, he's done everything. I mean, in his time back in Europe, to suggest that he's I think a horse that will relish 2,400 metres here at Meydan, and I think it's hard to tip anything. Not the saying that he's the biggest chance on the program as a whole, but I think it's hard to find anything in this race to confidently tip against him.
Well, Intricacy was probably the one. I mean, I remember they were so confident, the team, for that race he won last year.
Callum Shepherd got time for it as well, from memory.
Yeah, I think he did. You're right.
But I mean, they're obviously very, very vigorous to win the race, and I agree. I think he's got the track form that's going to see him be a worthy adversary. But yeah, interesting.
And they ran him, give him a prep race out here, but didn't get to finish it. So I think he'll be fine. I think he'll be ready enough for this. It's just, he's got winning form out here off £6 lower. So, and then you're wondering whether or not he's going to want that £6 to beat a horse like Royal Power. So we're with Royal Power, basically.
Yeah, 100%.
Simple. Good. That is race number 8 down. Race number 9, then we finish up with a sprint handicap on the dirts, 1,200 metres for this. No Freedom Fighter. Fupat Seymour, they're well represented in this contest and well represented with the likes of Morning, who I think we agree with. This is him finishing third in the Mahabal Shamal on Super Saturday. Mashaka was back in fourth on this occasion, but I thought that run from Morning last time, you know, behind Tuz there was enough in it, and he was always going to be outclassed by Tuz, but this is much more his bag.
Oh, 100%. Look, I mean, he was a convincing winner first up at Sharjah in the first leg of the sprint series. He's got a great gate here in 2, and I think I had it sort of tied up between the 2 and the 3 here, Morning and Falcon of Arabia, who, looking at the traffic overseas, they were jumping out of trees to back Falcon of Arabia overseas, and look, unfortunately, ran into a nice one in Al Nasib, who, after a long break, returned a fabulous winner from coming back in the field, a very unlikely winner as well from where he was at the top of the straight. But I think Falcon of Arabia could give Morning a run for his money here. The difference I had was the gate. I think gate 2 to gate 8, over 6 here on the dirt. Morning gets my tick here as well, and he was a winner of this race last year.
Yeah, this is Falcon of Arabia bit finishing behind Mujer. I mean, you've got Morning in here as well, Mashakal, Mr. Cafu as well, who was a bit disappointing this night, I thought, but he's better than this. But it wasn't. Yeah, again, I'm with Morning over Falcon of Arabia. For all I do respect the Al Nasib performance last time as well, I just thought this setup of this race out of 2 might be more a Morning job.
Yeah, no, I agree. And he's a horse who's proven time and time again here that he does handle Meydan. He loves the dirt track here, and that's something that, you know, that will see him running a good race here. I think he gets all favours as long as he handles the 62 kilos, carrying a bit more. I think he was a winner off a rating of 93 or 94 this time 12 months ago when taking this out. So has a little bit more to carry, but Tygo Shea on board, good confidence from the stable there, considering that he's probably had his pick of a few and gone the corner of Morning. So
right, Pat's 9. He's going to take you through them then.
Yeah, here we go. Baraka to start for the Group 1. I'll go Bilhail down the straight. Ruby Hamilton, I'm willing to give her a chance once again. Sandonado for Michael Costa in the 4th, having the first run for the team. Artorius in the Al Maktoum Mile, very low confidence. I'd rather not tip one in that race, to be fair. Measured Time should be winning. Autobahn is my nap of the night. Royal Power in the 2nd to last, and I'll finish it off with Morning, hoping to go back-to-back in the race.
And we agree on those last 4. Also with the opener Baraka, then Pontos. It was Pontos of Bilhail, Flower Sunshine, Danya, and then I think from Measured Time onwards, Karib, and then Measured Time onwards, that should just happen, really. I mean, hopefully anyway. Measured Time, Autobahn, Royal Power, and Morning. Good. You'd be disappointed if you don't have 3 or 4.
I'd say so. I'd say if I'll be going home. I'll be going home with tears and my tail between my legs if you're not tipping at least 3 on the night here tonight. The most confident I've probably been for selections heading into the races this season. But look, great to have grass racing back, and hopefully we'll get a good idea of how the track is after a few races on the surface. It says good to firm all the way around, but yeah, very interesting to see how it plays here tonight, and also the straight race as well. Whether or not, maybe 9 horses probably won't let us know whether or not the near side or the far side's better. We might have to wait for a 16 horse field. But yeah, look, good to have grass racing back.
We're going to put the Nutcracker back in the grotto, then Pat will hot-foot it up to the commentary box to call all 9 races tonight, as was the case on Festive Friday this time last year. A brilliant night it was too.